The first thing we're going to do to use the quadratic formula on this problem here is to get it into standard form. So let's subtract 2 from both sides. So we'll write it as 7x squared minus 2x minus 2 equals 0. And now we've got the standard form, right? ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And we can identify a, b, and c. So a is the coefficient of the squared term, and that's a 7 for us. B is the coefficient of the first degree term, which is a negative 2 for us. And c is the constant, right? C is that constant, which is just negative 2. So let's substitute in the quadratic formula, which is x is negative b plus or minus this square root, b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, right? You've already read it a few times and it's in your head. So let's see, let's substitute. We'll get x equals, now we get negative b, opposite of b. b is negative 2, so I'll write it all. Opposite of negative 2 plus or minus the square root of b squared, so that's that negative 2 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 7, times c, which is negative 2. All of that divided by 2 times a, which is 7. So let's do some arithmetic. We'll get opposite of negative 2, which is 2, plus or minus the square root of negative 2 squared is 4. And then negative 4 times 7 is negative 28. Negative 28 times negative 2 is positive 56. All over 2 times 7 is 14. So we'll get x equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 60 all over 14. And now that 60, we can simplify this. I can break 60 into two numbers, one of which I know the square root. 4 goes into 60 15 times, and I know the square root of 4. So I'm going to rewrite this right here, up here. I'll do it up here like this. X equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 times 15 all over 14. We'll get x equals 2 plus or minus square root of 4, square root of 15 over 14. X is 2 plus or minus square root of 4 is 2, square root of 15 over 14. And now I notice that these two terms in the top both have a 2 in common. Let's factor that 2 out. So bring that 2 out. So we will get x equals 2, and then this quantity is left. Now, right, if there's a 2 and I'm taking it out, what's left? 2 times what is 2, right? 2 times what is 2? Well, it's a 1. So 1 plus or minus, now there's a 2 there, but I'm removing it, square root of 15 all over 14. And then this 2, well, simplify with that 14. 2 into 2 is 1, 2 into 14 is 7. So we'll get x equals 1 plus or minus the square root of 15 all over 7.